Basketball. 2 hoops. Full court. 10-second shot clock. Miss a shot, you get shot. Shot clock buzzer goes off before you shoot, you get shot. 2 points for a basket. No 3-point bull. All you gotta do is make 10 points. That's it.
One of the advantages to getting older is that I can remember a Hollywood that didn't feel the need to make every movie they released a blockbuster. Instead, they would take a chance on a movie that by today's standards would be seen as lame or cheesy or even unprofitable. But instead say, we're going to make a sci-fi movie that for 2 or 3 months, people are going to go and see and maybe laugh at, but it's going to be a fun movie. That's what happened in Escape from New York with Kurt Russell, whose main character was Snake, who was running away from a character who was riding in this iconic Cadillac with the chandeliers on the front, played by Isaac Hayes. But when we think about Escape from New York, the fun movie that it was, even though looking back on it now it's cheesy, it really details the hero's journey in a dystopian land. Something that we can boil down to a few couple sentences that pretty much every man on the planet understands.
Weak men focus on women. Women focus on strong men. Strong men focus on their mission. So focus on yourself until the focus is on you.
To say that modern dating in the West particularly isn't moving in a dystopian direction is to be dating with your eyes closed. If you had asked men previously, what do you think is going to become of a landscape where young ladies get to date whom they want in the way that they like to, you're going to get basically what plays out here.
But there's a guy who lives in my building who's been bringing home a different woman every single weekend for the last year straight. And sometimes it'll be multiple times a week, but for sure, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's coming home with a different girl. And it's just so scary to me. Like, if you've been thinking about maybe having a one-night stand, this is your sign to probably hold off and just like do your due diligence, like get to know the person. Because if you've ever felt like bad energy after having a one-night stand, this is the reason. Because there's men who literally hop from woman to woman, and I can guarantee, like, I would bet a lot of money that he's not using protection with every single one. And when I tell you guys a different woman every week, I am not exaggerating.
Knowing Hollywood, they're never going to leave money on the table. So in 1996, they revisited the series with Escape from LA, as this time Snake was looking to escape a different city in the same dystopian future, one that involved him having to make basketball shots in order to escape with his life. In my opinion, the reason why dystopian science fiction movies are so fascinating to us is because it is a future that we are afraid is possible, but we can't believe will ever exist. And although most times it's outlandish to believe that they will exist, there are parts of the movies that we'll look at and say, wow, I can see that in today's society.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, push the camera down so I can see your face. Right there we go.
Sorry, I'm breastfeeding too.
You're breastfeeding in this moment?
Yeah.
Where the baby daddy at?
It's not around right now.
You look at, how old is your baby?
She's 3 weeks.
Your baby's 3 weeks old.
Yeah.
Your baby's 3 weeks old?
Yeah, she is.
And you're looking for a man?
Well, yeah.
Baby, you got a baby on your titty.
I think the hero's journey resonates with men more now than ever before, because more and more men are living in a situation where they're looking around, and like the story you heard earlier, there's a man bringing home a different woman every night. And it's more and more difficult for the average guy to have someone that's in his corner. And so when that average guy asks for anything, he's asking for too much.
Hard worker, and I want a woman that is also a hard worker too.
Okay.
Why is that part? Now, he's shocked that they popped their balloon, but I'm not. I think some women see it as a red flag whenever a man is talking about how he wants a hard-working woman, because there are men out there who are not looking for a mate, they're looking for a mule. Because for some men, when they say they want a woman who's working hard, they mean working hard for them, and they don't plan to reciprocate that energy. They want you to work a 9 to 5 and then come home and work a 6 to 10 in the household. They want you to do all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the showering, all the laundry. They want your labor, but they want it for free.
He's getting tired now.
I think the word tired is an adjective that describes a growing number of young men, not just in westernized nations, but around the world, in societies that have stressed that women should have more equal rights, which is absolutely positively fantastic. Many young men are saying equal means equal, which of course means the same men that are watching a variety of young women walk into the same man's bedroom, or they're watching a young lady with a 3-week-old child looking for a man to clean up the mess that the man that she was sexually attracted to made. They're asking, why am I expected to do even more when I'm getting even less? And even in Korea, guys are starting to behave differently.
Some Korean men are refusing to help women. A few days ago, a woman in her 20s lost consciousness and fainted when she was on the subway. Apparently, there were a bunch of men in their 20s and 30s who refused to help, and saying something to the extent of, "It has nothing to do with me," which got the women on the internet pissed. According to the Korean woman, the reason being, all able-bodied Korean men have to serve military service. They do learn CPR in the military. So it was expected for men in their 20s and 30s who likely just got out of the military to jump in and help because they know how to do CPR. But a lot of the men on the train didn't. And their reason being, they did not want to be accused of sexual harassment. There were a few incidents where men were actually accused for sexual harassment for trying to help the women. Back in 2014, a South Korean woman had actually tried to sue a male EMT paramedic for doing CPR and doing chest compressions on her. Although the paramedic wasn't charged or convicted with anything, since he was reported, he still had to go through an investigation. There was also another story shared of a Korean guy going up the steps in the subway station, and there was a woman in front of him seemingly about to fall. He put out his hands and tried to grab her from the back to prevent her from falling. The girl freaked out and called the police on him, and he ended up in the police station.
A couple years ago, I was swimming in the ocean and I got caught in a rip current. I'm from Utah, so I didn't even know those were a thing. I was trying to swim straight back to shore, which I know now is not the right thing to do. But I got tired and started to struggle, and I got carried out super far. I was in big trouble. I saw this guy that I thought was a surfer come up to me and asked if he could touch me. And I'm like barely keeping my head above the water. I've got my hair in my eyes. I can't see. It's like, what? Like, dude, get me out of this water. Touch whatever you want. It's freaking sad we've gotten to this point where a lifeguard has to ask me if it's okay to touch me, to literally save me. No, dude, save me, please. Is this what we wanted? Like, really?
If you're familiar with the idea of the buzzer beater, it is the idea of taking the low probability option because it's the only option you have. Or what I would say for many guys who are thinking of going overseas to find someone, it is taking the outside of the box option as opposed to the options that are in front of you, because quite simply the options that are around you in your environment simply aren't the best ones for you. And if you want to see one of the worst buzzer beaters that's ever been filmed on camera, it happened in this movie. If someone asks me, what does a buzzer beater look like for a passport bro, if you will, and I'd say that it would be a new way of looking at where you want to raise your family. Not necessarily just finding a woman that's extremely attractive to you, but finding an environment where your young kids can grow up and be competitive with the best children in the world. And it may be an outside of the box solution. But if it is that, I think it looks like this.
4岁了的时候，我盼望着每天早早去幼儿园，因为我很喜欢班级的老师和小朋友们，他们是我的好朋友，我纯心的。亲爱的老师，我衷心的感谢你。
The beauty of seeing this young girl speaking Chinese, which I can understand a precious little bit of, is that what happened here is essentially her parents made the difficult decision to live in a place that maybe was uncomfortable to them, but in the end, it was the best environment for them to raise a family in. And instead of growing up as a young girl in an environment where she's being encountered with woman after woman after woman telling her how terrible dating is, while the growing majority of men aren't even involved in the dating process, instead she can go to an environment that's healthy, where young boys and girls are having families, and she's happy to go to school, and she sees what a happy family actually looks like. The interesting thing about movies like Escape from New York and Escape from LA is that they show the hero's journey of a man in a dystopian situation finding a way out. And although dating is not as perilous as those movies are in terms of the character Snake, you can get in a very difficult situation very easily by one night with the wrong woman who needs financial security over you being in her life, or you getting married and choosing to adopt a woman's child who has no intentions of you doing anything more than just helping you take care of that child when she has ulterior motives, because it's become a dog-eat-dog dating situation. And for guys that are looking at it and seeing a dystopian situation that they're looking to get out of, what more beautiful escape could there be than to have a child walking, speaking 2 or 3 languages, and a loving wife in a competitive situation where they can build a family and not have to deal with a dystopian dating process anymore. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care.